you think about the eras that you've lived through to now.
We survived a lot. We survived.
But we were programmed to.
No.
We had no choice.
We were definitely programmed.
Yeah, we didn't have no choice at all, but we survived it.
When you say life or death, some people look at it as not a choice, but it's a choice. We didn't choose to die, that's all.
Yeah.
We chose to live. However, there's a lot of shit going on, but you think about just even down to the cartoons. Our cartoons was about war.
Jerry, constantly fighting.
Popeye.
The Roadrunner.
Brutus.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe. Thundercats.
Yeah.
He-Man.
Silverhawks.
It was
the American got Popeye fighting Brutus, the Arab, over oil, olive oil. I love oil.
That's crazy.
That's every time I think of that story, I'm like, that is cool. I love oil. His name is olive oil.
And they said
Popeye, the big Irish man.
That Popeye was getting high. Like the spinach was representing a drug, and it stimulated. He got strength for a certain time. Like, you know what
it was LSD.
I don't remember what it was. I gotta look it up again.
So it was a spinach in our childhood. Popeye was on LSD.
They were saying Popeye was like that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
But I was gonna say that Popeye was actually started by the military to get people to eat spinach.
Yeah, because he was a Navy man, right?
Yeah. So like Popeye was actually funded by the military to get people to eat spinach. That's why he eats his spinach and he gets strong. They had surplus spinach from the war that they needed to get rid of.
Interesting.
And they had vitamin deficiencies in rural communities.
I love spinach too, right?
I'm not mad at spinach,
but
I don't want to be programmed to eat this shit.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna send it to the chat.
Nah, I just think that there's and you look at the adults that come out of those eras, and just the ideal and how we look at life, and you look at things that's going on now, like it's just there's a representation that we were exposed to. It's not there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like The Last Samurai. What do you do when you've been prepped for a reality that no longer exists?
Right.
You was trained for a reality that doesn't exist.
You make the bad decision.
We were trained to be overly masculine.
Can I ask you a question? How many of you have seen Power?
The show?
The show?
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it. Do you watch that in a family setting? By yourself?
No.
Is it a man thing?
I think it was a man thing because when I was with my lady, I didn't want her or the baby to see that because they didn't grow up and understand that. Because you know my girl, she didn't understand. That was more like my upbringing growing up in Harlem, seeing the violence and drugs. She never seen that, so she wouldn't understand it.
Because I don't watch those shows. I've never seen Menace to Society. I don't watch any of those violence.
Why not?
I don't, because that's already part of where I live. It's already part of my reality. So I don't need to drag in more negativity into my life. So I just don't, even like if you pop up my Netflix, it's just Asian stuff. Because it's only in the United States that they promote violence, they promote sex.
So you don't watch violent Asian shows?
Nah, they're not violent.
No kung fu, no nothing.
Not those.
What, you just watch anime?
Nah, like novella.
Nah, anime is violent too.
Right?
Yeah, but it's like,
But novella got
but
no violence.
It's not even in English.
But I watch
She
it
watched
as a break from this world.
to escape from the
Because
realism.
I don't,
So you never watch Snowfall?
no. You could drop a bunch of movies, series. I don't watch them.
I can
I don't watch them. I
So
don't-
all you watch is Asian stuff?
No, I watch a bunch of different stuff, but it's like my choice, my decision is to watch that stuff versus, like I said, it's too much. As a New Yorker, it's too much. You can't. That's why we are desensitized. We're so numb because it's like it's okay for us to go down the street and guess what? Somebody just got stabbed. So you just, are they okay? If you have a heart, you call 911. I pass by a bunch of stuff that I stop my car, get out, call 911, or see people that fall, I'll get out the car, pick them up, people that are high falling off. Yo, wake up! You're gonna hit. Yo, you're drunk. Your phone is on the floor. Take your phone and put it in your pocket.
You have a good heart.
Yeah.
That's
And
It's
I
because,
don't think
like I
these-
said, we see so many things that it's like, and especially when you have children, you have to teach them that, you know, these people are going through something, and the choices they made led them to that, and don't do that. Like, I'll walk by the liquor store.
You can say that.
Look, I'm gonna give you an
But-
example. My block, you go right now, we have
They all live in a
dope
corner
heads
now.
Yeah, there's a dope head encampment. So when I wake up and I take the kids to school, she's seen the junkies, she's seen the drunks, people pissed on themselves.
5, 1, and 5th.
Huh? Yep.
5, 1, and 5th.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So it's like,
scaffold.
you know, the whole thing, everything you guys said today, it has to do with a part of my recent life. The whole nigga situation. We got a young 14-year-old just got killed last weekend, and he's a member of the Niños Malos, which is a Mexican gang.
Mm-hmm.
He got bodied. These little kids, I've never seen adults show up the way these little kids. 400 kids was mobbing for that kid's murder. They got together. They're making their own communities because they say, I don't know who's failing them.
It's a combination of both. We failing them and they don't give a fuck about us. So it's just like 6, 7, like.
At the same time, I think.
So it's like because of all that stuff, I don't want to bring that negativity into my house. I don't want to bring it in my world.
I get it. But we all tribal. And I think for a lot of kids, especially the broken homes, they're looking for their tribe.
Yeah.
They're looking for, like, you know,
love.
Back in the days, my aunt was in the same building, my grandma was downstairs, my cousins was around the corner, like family stayed close. It's not like that no more.
Yep.
That's why they say
everybody's like spread apart. So it's like
it take a village to raise a child, right? That old saying. And I know you grew up, him, you're a little older, so in your building, if you go up in the tenement building on the projects, you can go next door and ask for sugar. Yo, my mother said you got sugar. They could come ask for butter. You can go down the hall, get flour if you ain't got it. And we all kept it in community. And when you did something, someone seen it. You like right now, if a young kid is outside hanging out and an old lady walk past, they just gonna keep cursing like, yo, fuck that son, word up, man. They gonna keep smoking. But with us, when we was growing up, if an old lady come, we gonna be like, yo, shh, shh. And she got bags, we gonna help her.
No, but even hustling,
it's
like
different.
we used to hustle right here. The school was right there. In the morning, there was no hustling. When the kids got out of school, there was no hustling. You waited for everybody to go home and shit, and then you're back on the block doing your thing. Nowadays, it's just crazy.
At the same time, right? I look at it like this: we still desensitized when it comes to that too, because right now we make it like it was okay then. Outside of us going next door asking for help, whatever. I'm talking about in the community when we would be doing something, hustling, and we are shut down because of the time or school or the kids. But still, when we open up, we opening up shop
wrong, and
we
we're
doing
selling
wrong.
to somebody's for those
But
kids'
we
dads.
make it
and
right.
Yeah.
We try to make it right. You know what I'm saying? We give out turkeys. We help the neighborhood.
It's not necessarily trying to. Selling drugs is wrong because the law says so. There's countries that drugs are legalized and the crime ain't out of control. They ain't junkies all over the street.
But what's wrong with the drugs now? Everybody's a scientist. If heroin was real heroin, there wouldn't be deaths. They mixing.
Oh yeah, yes it would.
No,
yes it would.
But not as much as
step on that shit, man. You taking a whoa.
Yeah, but everybody's a chemist now. Everybody's cutting it with all types of bullshit. And it's not just the fatty, it's just other shit too. They putting speed, they putting all types of shit.
Yeah, but that's really not even the opioid era anymore. It's something else.
It's all man-made. Everything.
Well, I mean,
is.
do you know where the opioid epidemic came from?
Didn't that come from the war?
The Sackler family.
What year?
We're gonna say what the early, in between like 70, one.
I mean, but they all played a part in it. Not just them. You had the Rothschilds played a part. All of them played a part in it.
Yeah,
though.
but
Right.
My father got hooked on.
Yeah.
but that
Going to
see,
war, there was no war, so what he did, he just got high.
right. But so opium, right? Vietnam,
Yes.
right? Then you look at it. The Sackler family took it and made it into a pharmaceutical form, where they
They were
said
the first ones to profit legally.
right. That's what I'm saying. It's like over when they went to Vietnam, there was houses that they just went to and sat in there with, the prostitutes and stuff like that, and they were smoking opium to not feel. I guess they didn't want to feel.
To numb.
But then you got people, like I said, the Sackler family, who said, "Oh shit, they kind of like this shit. Let's make some money off of it. Actually, let's not even just make money off it. Let's put it in a pill.
It's highly addictive.
Yeah, it's highly addictive. I know they're gonna buy it, and look where we at now.
But look where we at now with marijuana and shit. Before, back in the day, smoking a blunt in the car was like having a gun in the car. You smoke a blunt and everybody was quiet for 40 minutes.
Right.
Because the boys are pulling up, you're just like,
But that's why they said you was smoking dope,
now the
right?
government said, hold on a minute.
They said you was smoking
They
dope.
say, let's get that money and shit. And that's what they did.
So it's business, bro.
It's all a business.
It's all a business.
Everything. The system is a business. That's why it's called a system. The projects is, like Jigga said, it's a project.
Right.
We're just going to see
said,
how it works. What can we do to,
Like he started the whole thing. If it wasn't illegal, if the law makes him illegal.
The law makes it illegal.
Could you tell them about your school shutdown?
Oh, like maybe every other week, it's like there's a shooting or stabbing in the neighborhood. And last week, it was the first time they thought, or even the shooter ran back into school. So the kids pushed me out the way, kindergarten, because I was in kindergarten, pulled the blind down, turned the lights and said, sit down. And I'm like, and then, the sound goes off and I'm like, what's going on? It's normal for them to shut down.
It happens often.
And it was my first time that severe.
Oh, so it was a drill?
No, it was a real.
No, but they follow the drill
But they
that
follow
they learned.
what they were
But
taught.
also,
They go through it a lot,
so it's already become their norm.
Because there's a big schoolyard, like on Ocean Hill, I think it's called. There's stabbings, there's a lot of gang fights over there. That one of the kids that I brought in to work with me, he has a gang map from the neighborhood.
Wow.
There's so many gangs in that area. Like there's GDs and there's like different versions of Crips. They all have names that is like, to me it's nice, the neighborhood. I just walk the train, but I'm not there. But it's very bad where I'm at.
Wow.
And that
they're tribal people. They trying to belong to something.
And the kids, it goes back to the conversation about desensitization. Like I didn't understand it, but it was normal to them, and it bugged me out after that. These kids have to go through that. Like growing up like that, your whole life is gonna fuck with you later on in life. And
that's why I say the mental health, and we need the therapy.
You need the therapy. You need the emotions.
And that's why
that it's okay to cry if you're scared. It's okay to cry if you're happy. It's okay to cry, if you're sad, if you're angry, and then let them cry and then ask them why you crying, and then from there you offer them different options, and they'll think about it, and then.
Well, going like now, what I've learned, because I oversee 120 kids, so each one has a different personality. So a lot of times they'll cry to me when they're happy and sad, and I tell them, calm down, count backwards, and use your words.
Are you a counselor? Or
no,
I
have a program I teach them through sneaker design.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
So teach them how to design the sneaker, present. I had Nike come in and show them that a person gets paid over $100,000 just to know colors. And then materials. There's a dude that knows shoelaces. There's so much shit more than just school. So we teach them to present. So they build a deck, they present, they design a sneaker, and now we just got a grant from Foot Locker for $74,000. So now we just buying 3D printers. So now they can design a shoe like in their head, draw it with like a skateboard or a shield or whatever, and we can make them a mini version of their shoe.
Wow.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
That's dope.
Word.
Be another Kanye West coming out of his
Yep.
joint.
Yeah, I
It
taught
will.
in Savannah,
Yeah.
and that school is amazing.
It will.
That school, SCAD. You ever heard of SCAD?
No.
It's like better than Parsons. The school they have, like, say you taking film, you go to film, you get all the newest cameras. Then you go to the other building where they do shop. They'll build you a studio.
What grades?
No, it's a college.
It's a college. Okay.
But I'll tell you one thing: in Savannah, Georgia, that shit was scary walking outside of campus. That is a racist town.
Okay,
Like
nigga.
the cab driver called me a nigga, a Uber driver, and like you feel the thickness in the air. Like even looking at the trees, like the sounds they make at night is bugged out, bro. We take shit for granted in New York.
Definitely.
Wow.
For me, my one of the hardest struggles for me was to
This Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rapper.